Good morning and welcome to Orange Coast Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Linda Sperry and I'm your worship associate today. Today is a special day as we are celebrating the 100th anniversary of our annual Flower Communion service. I'm joined in today's service with Reverend Sean Wiltshire, Karen Magoon-Pearson, who is our Director of Religious Education for Children and Youth, and a number of special helpers with the flowers. Beth Syverson, our Director of Music Ministry, is out today, but many wonderful choir members have put together a beautiful cantata of songs to sing to weave around the story behind the flower communion. We also would like to recognize the many volunteers who have helped to put the service together today. We respectfully recognize that our church property rests on Ahachiman and Tongva land. As Unitarian Universalists, we have many different beliefs, but we are one loving community. We are bound together not by a common set of rules or beliefs, but rather a covenant. A covenant is a promise that whatever our beliefs, we accept one another and encourage each other in spiritual growth. We affirm that all life has inherent value and that all existence is interconnected. We strive for justice and compassion in our deeds and relationships, and we are committed to creating a welcoming community without regard to the traits that sometimes divide people. To our roomers, we invite you to silence your cell phones. For our Zoomers, we invite you to say hello in the chat. I want to extend a special welcome to visitors. I have met a couple this morning as I came in. If you're seeking a spiritual home, we hope that you'll find it here. Later in the service, we will have an opportunity for you to introduce yourselves if you'd like to do so. We begin our worship with the lighting of our chalice, and this morning I'd like to ask Peggy Hepler to come up and join us to light the chalice. Peggy's been a member since 2019, and if you ever misspell Peggy's name, it becomes Helper. And that's exactly what she's been to this congregation. So join me in the affirmation in unison. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another, this we affirm together. Thank you, Peggy. Hepler. Our opening song this morning is De Colores, a beautiful Mexican folk song. It's about the beautiful flowers of springtime, but as Mara, one of our congregants from afar, taught us, it's more than that. It was a song used by the Chicano movement in the 1950s and 60s to unite Mexican Americans, especially farm workers. They used a song about all the beautiful flowers to encourage solidarity among the diverse ways that Chicano culture appears in the United States, so that together they could get worker and voting rights. As we celebrate the Flower Communion, we lift up all the diverse cultures and beliefs of this congregation. Let us sing with Mara, who sent this video from afar.
De colores se visten los campos en la primavera. De colores son los pajaritos
So today, as Linda said, we celebrate our annual ritual called Flower Communion, and this ritual, which is held in most of our Unitarian Universalist churches around the world, it was started exactly 100 years ago today, on June 4th, 1923, by a Unitarian minister named Norbert Čapek. He was in Czechoslovakia, and we'll tell more of his story later. Now, some of you may be visiting for the first time today, or you didn't know about today's service. I want you to know that everyone is welcome to participate, though some have come without flowers to share, some have brought extra flowers, and there's this kind of weird miracle that happens on this day. It's kind of a loaves and fishes thing, where we always have plenty of flowers left over. So you are part of the grace of this community, so please participate. All are welcome. So this morning, let our worship begin with these words by Thomas Rhodes in honor of this day. We come in a variety of colors and shapes and sizes. Some of us grow in bunches, some of us grow alone. Some of us we're cupped inward, and some of us spread ourselves open wide. Some of us are old and dried and tougher than we appear. Some of us are still in bud. Some of us grow low to the ground. Some of us stretch toward the sun. And some of us feel like weeds sometimes. Some of us carry seeds sometimes. Some of us are prickly sometimes. And some of us smell lovely. And all of us are beautiful. What a beautiful bouquet we make. I want to invite you all this morning to imagine the courageous people of a war-weary nation, finally free to reclaim and renew their spirituality and their culture after the war to end all wars. Imagine their hunger for soul-filling music and a message of unity that reaches across all lines of differences. Imagine their longing for a community where their gifts and needs would be enhanced. 100 years ago, Czechoslovakia was on the brink of greatness, as it was the only new country after World War I to preserve a democracy. So the Congregation of Liberal Religious Fellowship in Prague was building the community of their dreams. This Prague congregation was founded by the Reverend Dr. Norbert Čapek and his wife Maya. Reverend Čapek, a brilliant writer and preacher, avid singer, and eager student, grew up Catholic in Bohemia, but also had a father who was of Moravian Brethren, which is a Protestant faith. So Čapek grew up knowing two different versions of Christianity, two different faiths that taught about religion differently. And he longed for a faith that would unite people, not divide them. As an adult, Čapek served a Baptist religious organization, growing more religiously liberal with each passing year. He left Bohemia under government threat and accepted a call to serve a Baptist church in New York City. Until one day in 1919, that day he wrote in his diary, "I cannot be a Baptist anymore, even in compromise. The fire of new desires, new worlds is burning inside me." So instead, he embraced Unitarianism, the theology that taught the unity of God and of all humanity. Inspired and empowered by the American Unitarians that he had met, he became a Unitarian minister. And thus it was with great excitement that in 1921, Reverend Čapek and Maya returned with their children to their native land of Czechoslovakia to build a new religious movement that they dreamed of. It was a Unitarian church that they called the Congregation of Liberal Religious Fellowship. Čapek created a ceremony he described as a new experiment in symbolizing our liberty and brotherhood. He asked each congregational member to bring a flower to church, whether it was from their garden or the field or a roadside or bought from a vendor. Gathered in one vase, their combined beauty was dazzling, yet each blossom retained its uniqueness. And then, as Čapek wrote, when they go home, each person takes one flower, just as it comes, without making any distinction where it came from or whom it represents, to confess that we accept each other without regard to class, race, or other distinction, acknowledging everybody as our friend. This compelling ritual of individual free will, the beauty of diversity, and the power of unity was held for the first time on the anniversary of the Prague Fellowship's founding, June 4th, 1923. It became known as Flower Communion, and the Prague Fellowship celebrated it annually as it continued to grow and to thrive.
But peace did not last in Czechoslovakia. 15 years later, in 1938, the Nazis invaded and occupied Czechoslovakia. In 1939, Maya Čapek came to the United States to raise funds to help war refugees. She brought the Flower Communion with her to the Unitarian Church in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and soon the tradition was embraced by congregations across the country, honoring his message of unity. Norbert Čapek stayed behind in Czechoslovakia to help his people. He nurtured their spirits with his message of their inherent worth. But the Nazis found his message of unity of all humankind dangerous and arrested him for treason in 1941. He was sent to Dresden prison and then to the concentration camp at Dachau. Čapek kept his spirits strong by sharing his poetry, music, and the flower ceremony with other inmates, but the Nazis put him to death a year later. This year we honor the 100th anniversary of the first Flower Communion with music composed to celebrate the blessings of diversity, the beauty of freedom and dignity, and the power and strength of the religious movement founded by Norbert and Maya Čapek, a movement that continues to thrive today. Čapek said this about the Flower Communion: "Our common bouquet would not be the same without the unique addition of each individual flower, and thus it is with our church community. It would not be the same without each and every one of us. Thus this service is about our community."
All right, so it is today that we celebrate this community. And the flowers you bought by many of you today, some from gardens, some from fields, some from Trader Joe's. Some pictures on your background on the Zoomers. You can turn on your video and show your pictures with flowers on your background. Each of them represent, though, the uniqueness of each and every one of us, and no two are alike. So what I'd like to do now is to bring in the flowers that represent the beauty of diversity that we are. I'd like to invite our ushers to bring forward the flowers, and I also like to invite Emma and Jaden up here to help as well. If you'd like to go out this door, pick up vases, and then come straight down this pathway here and place them on the table here. That would be wonderful.
So, a great many Unitarian Universalist congregations celebrate the flower communion each spring. We love the way it brings Earth's colorful beauty into our midst, and it reminds us of the power of working together despite all the forces that conspire to divide us. We remember that just as each flower is unique, so is each person's life unique and worthy. Together, the flowers form a bouquet that would not be as beautiful if even one flower were left out. We know that's how it is with our community, too. Each and every one of us is a part of our community's beauty and purpose. Each and every one of us is valued and respected. In addition, the flower communion reminds us that we can and we must work to shift our world toward greater peace and justice. That we can and we must help liberate others. Let us sing together, You Bring an Aster, a hymn that brings to life the messages and meanings of the flower communion.
Please rise and body your spirit to sing You Bring an Aster. You bring an aster and I'll bring a rose, flowers from roadside, field or garden, symbols of friendship, gifts we chose. Each blossom praises nature, the artist. A flower is given and we hear beauty's call. Though each one is different, each blesses all. Sharing the flowers, our faces glow. Loving one another, community grows. You bring a lotus and I'll bring a lupin. Flowers from roadside, field or garden. Symbols of friendship rises from within. Each blossom praises nature, the artist. Together we're stronger than we can be apart, embracing the spirit in our neighbors' hearts. Everyone needed if we are to see richness of difference in our unity. You bring a daisy and I'll bring a bluebell, flowers from roadside, field or garden, symbols of kinship in which we dwell. Each blossom praises nature, the artist. Each blossom praises nature, the artist.
At the end of the service, each of you are going to be given a flower. Our children are going to be passing out the flowers to take home. But until then, let us enjoy their incredible beauty. Is this not amazing? The raucous colors, the fragrant blossoms, the incredible diversity, just like all of you. So this morning I want to bless these flowers with words that were written by the Dr. Peter Samolski. He's the current Unitarian minister in Prague who translates Čapek's original blessing for us. So this is the Reverend Dr. Peter's English translation. He says, in the name of what is holy, in the name of what is good, in the name of that which gives life, we gathered here in this place today. We have been given life to live under the aspect of eternity, for that is the source of happiness, to work on ourselves and bring happiness into our lives, to be as true as possible to others with whom we are connected by invisible relationships. You, the flowers, remind us of the wonderful simplicity of the natural order and that we too are a part of it. Remind us of the beauty and harmony of diversity. Remind us that we can feel and perceive and live unity in diversity and diversity in unity. Let the spirit of creative life unite us as it reigns among us. Amen.
So Unitarian Universalism is a living faith tradition meant to grow and change with the wisdom and knowledge of the times and with the life experiences of our congregation's members. We come to this faith from many places. Some of us without any formal religious background, some after years spent with other religious paths and practices. It is not easy leaving an old faith or embracing a new one. Yet that is what Chopik did. In our next song, Chopik's Journey, we hear his heartfelt search for a faith of integrity that could also serve the needs of his people. Listen for the compelling refrain. Something didn't feel right, in my head or in my heart. I knew that reason and love are the only place to start.
I love the candles, the incense, the rituals. As an altar boy, loved to play my part. The mysteries of religion, my passion. Love of learning was deep in my heart. But as I learned, I questioned. The priests were not the saints I expected. Rome came to Slavic lands unbidden. There was much they taught I rejected. Something didn't feel right in my head or in my heart. I knew that reason and love are the only place to start. I wanted freedom, respect for my heritage, to decide for myself what to believe. The Catholic Church shut down questions, so I knew it was time to leave. The brethren my father embraced believed in a religion of deeds. Reform and peaceful resistance to intolerant, rigid creeds. Something didn't feel right in my head or in my heart. I knew that reason and love are the only place to start. Baptists came closer to filling my longing, didn't ask me to shut off my mind. The Bible is a human creation. We can treasure the wisdom we find. Apply the tales to our daily lives as missionaries spread the word. Choose to be baptized when we're ready and build God's kingdom on earth. One where all feels right in my head and in my heart. I know that reason and love are the only place to start. need a new kind of religion based on freedom and love and reason, grounded in our history, not imposed, free from Rome and free for Jesus. My head says there's one God, not three. My heart tells me that God loves us all. My soul grounds me in my native country, so I'll build a new church on our soil. One where all feels right in my head and in my heart. I know that reason and love are the only place to start.
Wow. Music was a joy and a lifeline for Norbert Chopek and for many of us. The texts of the 7 hymns he wrote while incarcerated in Dresden prison are preserved in a book called Norbert Fabian Chopek, A Spiritual Journey. And the author notes that in Chopek's hymns we sense his premonition of his fate, yet they are full of hope and beauty. "In the Depths of My Soul" is a song that adapts one of Chopek's hymns and sets it to a meditative chant-like melody. The words remind us that in difficult times, solace is waiting deep within us.
In the depths of my soul, there where lies the source of strength, where divine and human meet, there quiet your mind, quiet, quiet. Outside let lightning rain, horrible darkness frighten the world, but from the depths of your own soul, from that silence will rise again the flower of God. Return to yourself, rest in yourself, live in the depths of your soul, where divine and human meet. Tune your heart to the eternal, and in the depths of your own soul, your panting quiets down. Quiet, quiet, where divine and human meet, there is your refuge.
Much has changed in the 100 years since the first flower ceremony, or flower communion, but our commitment to the values it embodies grows ever stronger as we continue to shape a faith that fiercely and gently calls forth beauty, kinship, and unity across all our differences. As we Unitarian Universalists continue to learn to embrace a multiplicity of cultural worldviews and embrace this diversity, we make real the bold vision of Norbert and Maya Chopek and the Flower Communion. Our returning song, "We Are One," lifts up this vision. Come, let us sing.
dawning, we are here. Many hearts filled with hope, we are here. Joining freely together, siblings and strangers, cousins and neighbors, creating new traditions, shaping what will come. We are here, we are here, we are one. We are one. Though each of us is different, we are one. Each with blessings and needs, we are one. Bringing beauty to the table, siblings and strangers, cousins and neighbors, nurturing each other, singing harmony. We are one, we are one, we are free. We are free, liberated from old symbols. We are free, free to learn, grow and serve. We are free, like flowers in the gardens, siblings and strangers, cousins and neighbors, growing in courage to face the great unknown. We are free, we are free, we are home. We are home, respecting one another. We are home, sharing all that must be done. We are home, in the voices of our children, siblings and strangers, cousins and neighbors, loving one another. What could be more clear? We are home, we are home, we are here. We are free, we are home, we are here. We are one, we are free, we are here.
I thought I'd put those gladiolas down a little bit so you could see me. I was sitting there thinking about what I was going to do the whole time. Unitarian Universalist congregations are fully self-supporting, meaning that members and friends raise all the funds for the operating budget, ministries, and programs of the church. We are ever grateful for your gifts of time, treasure, and talent. OCUUC amplifies that spirit of generosity by sharing one half of the plate we receive with an organization that shares our values. I'd like to ask Nancy Lockery, our president of our congregation, to come up to share information about our recipient this month. Nancy.
So who here has been to Benneville? Woohoo! Who loves it? Woohoo! Tom and I first took our children there in 1982. The next summer, they started attending youth camps. It's a wonderful opportunity for our children and youth to camp, play capture the flag, do crafts, and meet lots of other UUs, kids like them, with parents like us, or not like us. They run 5 week-long camps per year, with 3 of them coming up next month. The Lockery kids will still tell you that youth camps were an important part of their value making as they became adults. Nothing is quite the same as exploring your values with your peers, right? In fact, I considered too late asking all our youth camps alumni to make short videos about what it means to them. Maybe next year. For years, we had a June plate share to support our children and youth attending Benneville Pines youth camps. Like just about everything else, the plate share was suspended during the pandemic while there were no youth camps. We used to give need-based scholarships, but previous generosity has allowed us to offer 50% scholarships to all of our children and youth going to the Bentonville youth camps. I hope you will give generously this month to continue that important program.
Thank you, Nancy. There are multiple ways in which you can support the church and this organization. You can mail a check, you can go through our website, or use an app called Vanco Mobile. If you're a roomer, you can also simply use the basket as it's passed. The choice is yours. All the information is on the website should you need it. The words and melody of our offertory song, Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, were written by Norbert Chopik, translated into English. It's a familiar song, but you'll notice that some of the lyrics have been updated. As always, thank you for your generosity.
Good morning. My name is Stacy Smith. Please join us in singing We Gather Together, a song that puts our intentions into words and expresses our gratitude for the many gifts that we share. We gather together, we gather as one, for peace, love, and justice for everyone. We give from our hearts to show that we care. We can change lives with what we share.
I don't know if you all caught Stacy Smith and the name down there and the creator of the song. All right, well, now is that time when we honor the important events and people in our lives. And you're invited, one and all, whether you're a member, friend, or visitor, whether you're a roomer or a Zoomer, to participate in this weekly ritual we call Joys and Sorrows. I'd like to invite Lori Kluge up here. She's one of our pastoral care team members, and she'll be assisting in lighting the candles. So perhaps you came here today holding something in your heart, something that has struck you at your core. If you'd like to honor such a profound joy or sorrow, you are welcome to do so. The way we do it is simply by lighting a candle. And if you're a roomer, you're invited to come forward to light that candle. If you'd like to share your joy or sorrow, you can write it out on a slip of paper, and then I'll read those after the candles are lit. And if you're a Zoomer, you're invited to write your joy or sorrow, if you like, sorrow in the chat, and then Lori will light a candle for you. So as music is played, I invite you to silently offer celebration or healing as you feel called and according to your own beliefs. All right, on our Zoomers, we've got two here. It says one is from Linda C. She says, a great joy in my life is the celebration of her dear husband's 86th birthday on Tuesday, June 6th. And Barbara S., who says, last weekend her family gathered to remember their mother. It was a wonderful time filled with love and lots of great grandchildren. Wonderful. Oh, and Hannah A., yes. Hannah A. says, a candle of gratitude that her mom is visiting in Minneapolis right now with her. Right on. Hannah's all the way out in Minneapolis. Right on. Okay. Oh, and from Ralph, there was a joy. She says, my grandson Rowan graduates from the OC Academy this week and is headed to Oregon State U. Excellent. Right on. All right, let's see here. Emily S., she lit a candle of joy because her family is being able to attend for the first time today. Yay. The little ones look so gorgeous. Oh my goodness. And Mateo S. is all excited. He lit a candle of joy because he's going to Colombia with his family for a wedding. Ooh. And Sarah J., our administrator, she lit a candle of joy. She says, on Friday, I graduated from Coastline College with 2 associate and science degrees with honors and 2 certificates. She says, while earning my degrees, I was acknowledged as a merit scholar, inducted into 2 honor societies, and awarded 3 scholarships. She says, I worked hard, and I'm happy to be done, and I'm grateful for the support of my family and friends. Right on. And on that vein, Francie Coleman lit a candle of joy. She said, I want to repeat a joy from last week that the honoree was way too humble to say. Joy to Sarah J. on her graduation yesterday with not 1 but 2 associates in science degrees in general accounting and bookkeeping, plus certificates and honors, all the while raising her wonderful family and working as our wonderful office administrator. Amen. And Simone B. lit a candle of remembrance and gratitude for D-Day's anniversary, June 6, 1944. She says, the beginning of hope for my family in France. Sarah H., she said she says, my home has sold and I have a new one in Georgia. Fiona, her dog, and I leave June 21st with our son Ian helping to drive onwards. We're going to miss him. I also want to note I got a couple that were sent here to me by Marcia H. She said, I attended 2 wonderful events last week. If you could light a candle for her, that'd be great. The first was my last granddaughter's high school graduation at Aliso Niguel High School. She says her granddaughter, one of the class valedictorians, received other high honors, including induction into the National Honor Society, and she will attend Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Congratulations, Marcia. And the second one this is something I just love about Marcia. She says the second was the 50th anniversary celebration of the Bowers Museum Docent Guild. And Marcia's retired now after 21 years as a docent of that museum and part of the Docent Guild. And it's been a wonderful experience. She's amazing. She has all this knowledge about art. It's just wonderful. All right, let's see. Elizabeth K. and her family. They ask that you please keep in your thoughts Vova, or some of us know him as Volodymyr, in your thoughts. He's one of our Ukrainian refugees that we had helped. He was in the hospital yesterday due to dehydration. Says he's back home and resting. Also, please send healing thoughts for Elizabeth's upcoming surgery on June 12th. It's a 6 to 12 week recovery. Oh my goodness. Please see Judith Stamper for help with the meals for the Kiltrow family post-surgery. So if you want to sign up with that, Judith is back there. I want to raise her hand. If you want to see Judith afterwards, we'll send out an email too as well, so you can help out with that. Gail D. had lit a candle of joy for Sunny H., who is recovering from COVID. But unfortunately, a sorrow for Shirley Thorne, who was diagnosed with COVID last night. Yeah, oh, hold them both in your hearts. Oh my goodness. And Tatiana H., she lit a candle of sorrow for all of those Ukrainians killed by Putin's aggression. Amen. You know, we have this tradition in this congregation that when somebody turns 90 and every year thereafter, we get to sing them happy birthday. And we do have someone again who this week turned 90 birthday. So this is our beloved Bonnie Wagner here. The former flower arranger who we thought it was so appropriate that we would celebrate this on Flower Communion Sunday. So let us sing happy birthday. I also want to point out that Brenda here, her daughter, has arranged for some cake and goodies after the service in celebration of this 90th birthday. So yay. All right, everyone, let us hold and love all the joys and celebrations and all the hurts and sadness, whether they were spoken or remain silent in our hearts. Let our joys remind us to be thankful, our concerns remind us to hope, and our sorrows remind us to connect. Let all these moments remind us that we're never alone. I want to invite you into a spirit of prayer or meditation. It is said that the Buddha, one day, as his followers gathered to hear him preach, he rose and faced them wordlessly, holding forth a lotus blossom. In utter silence, as they waited for him to speak, he simply stood holding the flower, letting the blossom speak for itself and to them in its own language. After a while, the message of beauty penetrated the minds of his listeners, and they heard the flower prayer and were blessed. So this morning for our prayer, I invite you to gaze upon these flowers and listen to what they have to tell you. Please join me. Amen.
Let us join together as we extinguish the flame of our chalice and say together, we extinguish our chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of commitment, the fire of the commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're a congregation made up of people who all believe differently. And yet when we gather together, whether we are in the room or on Zoom, we make up one loving community. We need not think alike to love alike. If you're a guest or a visitor or someone who hasn't yet been known to us, I invite you to become a part of this beloved community. We encourage you to either write in the chat if you're a Zoomer, or if you're a roomer, to stand for a brief moment and tell us your name and where you're from. And we'll bring a microphone to you. Steve has a mic so that our Zoomers could hear you as well. Anyone today? Oh, okay. If you'd like to know more about our church, including programming for our youth and children, please contact us at hello@ocuuc.org and we'll help you get connected. In addition, we invite you to sign up for our weekly email called The Blast at blast@ocuuc.org. We want everyone to feel a part of this beloved community. So please reach out to us and we will help you get connected. And if you are a visitor today and you did not sign in at the welcome table as you came in, please do so, and we will be sure and get in touch with you in the following week. And I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Sean for announcements.
And I would like to invite, actually, Deborah Quam, who is our Pledge Drive chair, up here just give us a little update. I just want to note that we are thriving here. We're going to have to put more chairs in this room. It's absolutely amazing. It's a good thing we're building a new sanctuary.
Thank you, Sean. So just wanted to give you a little update on our pledge drive this year. And I want to thank you all for the pledges you've made for our 2023-2024 fiscal year. Your generosity and financial support, as Sean just said, keep OCUUC thriving. So as of June 4th, today, we have received 100 pledges. And of course, you know, some of these are couples, so they're in the same pledge packet. 100 pledges have been received for next year, and that brings us to a total of $230,147.73. And we a special thanks to Jacques for the 73 cents. Okay, so the total pledge amount raised last year for our 2022-2023 fiscal year was $222,333.63. So the pledges raised this year represent a 3.4% increase over last year's pledge amount. So, and as you all know, the pledges received make up a large portion of how we pay to keep going here. Our staff, our buildings, our programs, the utilities, all those things. Aside from myself, on the Pledge Drive Committee this year were Tom Lockery, Meg Wilson, Joel Ibanez, Reverend Sean Wilshire, Nina Smith, we have her to thank for the FAQs, Nina Smith, Craig Preston, and Nancy Lockery, who gets in on everything as the president. So the committee's work on the Pledge Drive luncheon, I think we all enjoyed that luncheon out here, the crepes, that was fun. The pledge theme development and stuffing and mailing many envelopes is greatly appreciated. Thanks to those who gave a testimonial this year, Bob Bloshin, Craig Preston, Tom Lockery, Donna McCartney, and Tatiana Hauser. And thank you to Sandy Martin, past Pledge Drive chair, for her guidance, and to Sarah Jones, who went above and beyond, our church administrator, for her work on and assistance on this project. And finally, once again, thank you to all of you for your financial pledge to OCUUC. Thank you.
So I remind you that we have our annual meeting where we will be voting on the budget next Sunday. All are invited. Members get to vote, but all are invited. You can come and ask questions, or you can see what we do, and usually have a really good time. So the other thing is, as you know, Beth Syverson, a director of music ministries, is going to be leaving us in the fall. I know. But the board has put together a charge to the search committee, and so we are looking for search committee members. If you're interested, or you just want to know more about it, I've got some outlines up here. The way we're going to do it is that we're going to have 5 people on the committee. 2 of them are going to come from the choir and 2 from the congregation. And then Nancy, the president, and I will share a spot. She's going to be working with them, building up for the interim the music director over the summer, and then when I come back in the fall on September 5th, I'll take over and work on hiring someone permanently. We had someone checking us out last Sunday, just saying. So if you want to know more, also there'll be stuff in the blast about that. Yeah, and our deadline for knowing is June 6th, so if you could please get this. We put it in the blast, but if you want to know a little bit more about it, what's involved in being on the committee, because it's a little involved to do this. And then finally, I want to remind you that we have cake and gifts and yummy things out here after the service, all courtesy of Brenda Lightfoot and her family for Bonnie Wagner. So thank you very much for that. And all right, back to our flower communion. This is the time when we get our flowers. All right, we are one, we are free, we are here, we are home. The spirit, courage, and commitment of Chopic's life lives on in us. May we ever remember our connection with those who struggled generation after generation for peace, justice, and unity, as they do even right now in Ukraine. As we share our flowers, may we always remember the abiding beauty that calls us together and calls us to ever greater justice and ever greater love. So I'd like to invite our children up here to help. What we're going to do is we're going to give you some flowers, and we'd like you to pass them out to everybody here while we sing a reprise. That's right. It's a noun, it's a reprise. If it's a verb, it's a reprise, just so you know. All right.
We will reprise for a reprise the song We Are One. We are here, and a new day is dawning. We are here, many hearts filled with hope. We are here, joining freely together, siblings and strangers, cousins and neighbors, creating new traditions, shaping what will come. We are here, we are here, we are one. We are one. Though each of us is different, we are one. Each with blessings and needs, we are one. Bringing beauty to the table, siblings and strangers, cousins and neighbors, nurturing each other, singing harmony. We are one, we are one, we are free. We are free, liberated from old symbols. We are free, free to learn, grow, and serve. We are free, like flowers in the gardens, sibling and strangers, cousins and neighbors, growing in courage to face the great unknown. We are free, we are free, we are home. We are home, respecting one another. We are home, sharing all that must be done. We are home, in the voices of our children, siblings and strangers, cousins and neighbors, loving one another. What could be more clear? We are home, we are home, we are here. We are free, we are home, we are here. We are one, we are free, we are here.
Have one? Ooh, that's so pretty. Thank you. How wonderful are all our helpers. Well, like your flower, you are unique and you are a blessing to this world. There is no one in the world like you. Thank goodness. You're wonderful. Have a blessed, blessed week. This service is over. Let our service continue.